Good morning, everyone. This is Dawn, and I'm going to talk about tethers. I know it's been requested a lot, and I'm so sorry I keep not being able to get to it, but I am going to squeeze it in now. It is important. It is something that I have used from the very beginning. I had made a video about it before, and I talked about the Towie. This was the very first tether that I got and used that for a long time until I decided that I didn't need all of this, and I'm now using this one. I've been using this one for months. I have crash tested in both this one and this one. This one is just fine. It is so there's just a lot to this, and it is very long. And this one is just a lot shorter. Let me take out this knot. So that's how that knot goes. So it's just this short, but you can make it longer by attaching more straps to it. And I shall put a link down below on that. The carabiner did not come with it. It's just this, and this is a kayak leash. I have tried different types of kayak leashes, and the kayak leashes are not all made the same. Some of them are just like super puny and gross. This one is my favorite out of like 3 different types that I bought. So I will include the link. I like this one. It is not too long, and actually it is too long, and that is why I have that knot. So I just make a very simple whatever slip knot. And so you'll see in the videos, you'll see this funky looking knot. It is not the cutest thing in the world. And all it does is that it just shortens the tether so that it is not flopping around all over the place and annoying me. What happens is when it gets activated, then it'll just pull and then it comes loose. So this is another thing to take up energy. And we shall get into that. Okay, so how should I break this up? What is a tether? A tether or a leash is something that attaches you to your wheel. So that in case of a crash, instead of the wheel just shooting out and tumbling and somersaulting and getting himself into a wreck and possibly taking down pedestrians or other cars, so you got it can hurt other people, it can do property damage, it can cause other crashes, it can take out other riders, all those things, because a big heavy wheel barreling down at momentum is dangerous. So some of us decided that we don't want that. We want the wheel tethered to us. 2 main schools of thought is yes for the tether and no for the tether. So people that are yes for the tether are usually thinking about the consequences of the wheel getting away from them and hurting other people or whatever, or minimizing the damage to their wheel in case of a crash. People that are against tethers are usually saying that, why would you be such an idiot to strap yourself to this really heavy thing that's going to be barreling down, and it's going to hurt you, and it could drag you off of a cliff, and usually stuff like that. So let's talk about it. First off, I do have video of this tether in action with my master, and that is my master cutout crash. So watch that video. Watch the video, and you will see that I cut out and my body fell in front of the wheel. And that is typical for cutouts, right? You're, how do I do this? Wheel? No. Okay, so you're on top of the wheel, you're going long. When you cut out, the wheel falls this way. So you fall, you get in front of the wheel, and then the wheel starts tumbling and sometimes hits you and gets away. So that's exactly what happened with me. We fell, I'm in front, the wheel was behind me, but then it started barreling, it hit me, and then it passed me and went. But when it went past me, if you watch, you'll see a big jerk, and the wheel all of a sudden just falls to its side and stops. And it was just a few feet away from me, just about a little bit further than the length of this, because you still got momentum going, right? But you got this going. the thing is, I think there's two main parts of the tether and the quick release, or the tether and the emergency release, or the breakaway. So some people do have the tether hard tied to themselves. I don't believe in that. And usually you'll see it's a big tether and then they go around their waist, right? I don't really believe in that because this would go right under your ribs and you have all these sensitive organs under there. And then you got this thing, and usually how they do it is they do this. They take, and this becomes a cinch, right? And this is how they attach to themselves. Well, this is a cinch, and it can get cinched up tight all around your sensitive organs. So to me, that is not my preference. And there's no quick release. There is no releasing this from you at all unless if you cut it. The bungee or the elastic in the center core of this, it's a bungee that can break, but the outer nylon, that is not going to break. So I already went to how to attach it to you, and I forgot what my other point was. All right, let's go straight into how to attach it to you then. I've tried different methods. Hopefully it'll come back to me where I was before and I can pick up again. I tried this one, which I used for a long time, and this is a wide nylon belt thing. It's a police or military one, or advertised as such, as a utility belt sort of thing, but it's Velcro or hook and loop, and it's this much length of hook and loop, so that's a lot. And you just go like that. So I would wrap this around me, and I had this inside. So that way when it pulls, it would pull against here, but then I have this breakaway. And this was okay for a while, but I don't know, wasn't too thrilled about it. And you still have the problem of it yanking right there. Here's the thing. I also wear a back protector. You guys see the back protector goes all the way down. So because I have the back protector, I also have a chest protector. And in the earlier days, with the back protector and the chest protector, those are hard armor. And I had this around the outside of the hard armor. So there wasn't going to be any chance of it hurting my internal organs because it was on the outside. But my current method, I'm giving you these other options just so that you see that there are different options, and then you can explore them yourself if those work for you. You guys have seen my Groot, and this is my hip bag. And so what I do now, oh my goodness, I do this all the time and now I can't do it. So it's this. So this is one quick release, is this buckle. I usually have it hanging around my waist. And over here, I have these thingies. Okay, I'm going to take this off. So I do this. So here I have a hook to hook on anything. This one is just 2 buttons. And I clip onto that with the carabiner. So the reason why I have multiple breakaway points or emergency releases, because it's the emergency release is that important to me, and the more joints you have, each of these joints is going to take up energy. All right, so I have this first off. So we got the Velcro. Then we got this carabiner, which is not that strong. And that's the other thing. The carabiners, you can get in all different strengths. Some of these will only hold 75 pounds. Some is 175, and then all the way up to climbing quality, or mountain climbing quality ones, right? That will hold humans and all that stuff. So carabiners come in all different strengths. So you choose which one you want. Obviously, this one is not going to hold as, not going to take as much energy to break as this one is. Then this is leather, which won't tear, but the buttons, it's just 2 buttons, so that's another breakaway. And then on the other end of this, I have done in the past, like the other day when I was doing the speed runs with the V12, all I did was around this front handle, and the other end is a loop, and I just looped this in and around that handle over there. So this was hard tied against the wheel. You know what I'm doing. I don't have to show you. But on my actual personal wheels, then what I do is I will usually get a strip of Velcro. You can get these as all different types, right? But some of these are like cable ties, Velcro cable ties, or backpack straps or something. But you find a spot on the wheel and you loop this around. And then I have another carabiner that goes, so this is attached to the wheel, always, never comes off. This is also attached to the wheel and never comes off. And then when I want, I just attach that. So we have so many emergency breakaway points, right? Because, okay, so one of the nice things about hook and loop is that hook and loop is not very strong when you tear it out this way. That's how we do it. But it is much stronger. The horizontal, it takes more horizontal force to break all those little hook and loop connections than vertical force. So the shearing power of the hook and loop takes a lot more energy. So it's stronger this way, shearing ways, than this way. And it's cheap, it's easy, it's super convenient. And the other thing that determines the strength of the hold, the hook and loop hold, is how much of it is connected. So this little tiny one is going to break away a lot sooner than this long big one with the entire length of it hooked and looped. Okay, so that brings us to breakaway strength. The breakaway strength is how much force is needed to make it break, or to make it quick release. That is important because you don't want to just, walking along and all of a sudden, boom, oh, it broke away. You want it to take up as much force as possible without damaging your own body. So I want it to be, I can handle a decent sized tug if I have this attached to my body, right? I can handle a bigger tug if it's attached to my body and over my hard armor. But let's say I don't want it to hurt me, then I want a lesser breakaway strength. But as much as I can handle, okay. So, you just find that spot. You want to find the spot that it will have a big tug, but it doesn't have to be a huge tug. That's my point. Because the only job of this is to make the wheel fall on its side. That's it. It doesn't have to be this huge force to support the wheel and support 800 pounds and all that stuff. No, all it needs to do is fall over on its side and stop the momentum. And every bit of these connectors is taking up some of that energy. And then the length of it is taking up the energy. The force needed to stretch the bungee is taking up energy. And then when the bungee retracts, it's taking up energy or sucking that up as well. This braking, the carabiner braking, is taking up energy. So in a crash, once that motor is off, you have a finite set of energy that is propelling that wheel forward once the wheel is shut off, right? That finite energy, then every little bit that you are chipping away at that energy is taking away with how much energy that wheel has to propel itself forward and to tumble and all that. And it will, instead of shooting off forever, it will just go a short distance, and then the big jerk, then it falls over on its side. That's the only purpose goal of this tether. So that is why I am more comfortable with putting a lot of breakaways and not more than this. The breakaway strength more than this. This is decent. This is good. In my cutout crash, the one that actually separated was this one. So this was the length of hook and loop, and it is already built into this tether that that you would purchase. So I mean, right there, that was good. This is the exact carabiner that was in the crash, and it did not break. This one didn't break, so I know that the overall force was greater than the hook and loop and less than 175 pounds of force that was tugged on me. And I didn't feel the tug at all because we were all still moving forward. So our momentum's going this way. I don't know if I felt a tug. I don't know. It's a little fuzzy, but you know, in the video, you can see the tug, and then it just falls over on its side. Once it's over on its side, everything's done. It's over. It's fine. So there you go. Did I cover everything? I don't know. I've been rambling on forever, and I don't even know what I talked about. Is there anything else to think? This has never come up. I always carry a knife with me, but that's just something that I do anyways. But one of my rules is anytime you are going to be always around rope products, then you want a knife that can cut rope, just in case. And this is a serrated, it doesn't have too much of a beak on it. I think the beak ones, the hook beak thingies, I think this comes in that. But anyway, a serrated blade is what you want for I don't know if you can see that. There's too much. It's bird. This one is bird. Rescue 2. Serrated blade will slice through any rope products, so I don't know, just in case. But like I said, I have so many different types of breakaways. I pretty much got those covered. I'm probably overthinking the whole thing, and I have way more than I need, actually, which is always the case. But what I was really happy with was that video the very first tether video. I made that video without having any actual data of what would happen. And it was all speculation and theory. And then when I had my cutout crash, it was actually put to the test, and everything worked exactly as it was supposed to. And I didn't get hurt by it. Other people didn't get hurt by it. And my wheel, it saved my wheel from tons of damage. You look at any other master cutout crash, right? And you see that thing shooting like forever, and it tumbling, and the master is usually totaled. Or not just the master, but you know, any wheel, they get totaled when they keep doing those somersaults. And there are plenty of people that have been using tethers, and it really does save the wheel a lot. One bad thing about it is that it does keep the wheel closer to your body. So for the smaller crashes, yes, when I'm crash, I do end up with, this around my leg, or something. If the wheel is under me, or it's like all of a sudden I got this wrapped around my leg and I have to, but it's easy for me. Usually I have to find the one of the releases, release that, and then unwind myself, because the wheel is now close to my body all the time, because unless it engages any one of these brakes, then any one of these emergency breakaway points, if it doesn't engage those, this is a rope keeping that wheel close to you. So at the initial point of usually when you split off, the rope is keeping the wheel close to you. And if the wheel is spinning, or the wheel is now hitting you more, you could get more bruises. You could get it hitting your ankles more, or stuff like that is definitely a possibility, and it will happen. So in those cases, it's like, make sure you have proper boots on that can take a hit. Make sure you got your knee guards. Make sure you got your gear and stuff like that. So there's always a give and take, and you just got to decide what's more important to you. And then another thing to consider is these wheels are getting so much heavier now. Like this one is almost as much as I am in weight. And so, yeah, I'm so heavy. Anyways, so do I really want to be tethered to something that weighs as much as I do? That is a consideration. I mean, tethering myself to my M10-3 is not a big deal. Tethering myself to this behemoth is a little bit more worrisome. So it would depend on circumstances. Am I on the racetrack? Am I in the canyons? Am I right up against a cliff? Am I on the or not freeway, but on highways with lots of cars? And what am I doing? And all of those things would be in consideration of if I get tethered. For me, on my speed runs, I did tether myself to it. Our very first ride at Baldy, I wasn't allowed to tether myself to it. So, but personally for me on my speed runs, I thought about it, and my thought was, this isn't my wheel, and if anything happens, I want to minimize any damage to it. I'm just going to be safe. I'm going to tether myself to it. So, and luckily it was fine. Most of the time, I mean, it's not even a big deal. And then the few times that I needed it, it worked exactly like it should, and it wasn't a problem at all. And I was glad that I had it. So, and that is pretty much what most tether users will tell you. Is that it's always saved them, or saved their wheel, and they don't see any problems with it. So take that for what it's worth. Hopefully I just gave you guys a whole bunch of data, and you can, lots of different personal choices and things to think about, but hope that helps. Thanks for joining me today, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.